Okay, to finish this up, we tried some of the other we tried some of the other retouching tools, the spot healing brush pattern, the patch tool, and we discovered they really didn't do very much to get rid of this woman in the back. But the clone stamp tool really does a pretty good job. And you can see where I've patched in this first stone by just cloning a little bit of the available image of the mortar between the stones and just bring that on across from over here. I was able to get this next stone in there, and then finishing up, I sometimes use this line here and just bring it over, or you can maybe try bringing a little bit of this line down here. Either one, the pitch of the seam is the thing that's a little bit tricky to try to match up. I think I'll use over here. Now you may notice that with the clone stamp tool that I'm seeing that purple color again from my original, and that's okay. It's not really going to be there. It just is as you use the tool. As soon as you add new detail, that color goes away. It's just inheriting it as if these layers were turned off. And as soon as you make the correction, those layers will go back into effect, and you'll see that it still works. Okay, so I'm just going to option and click right here and bring a little of that line over to this side. Now you see my little crosshair following along with me there. Once you've got a bit of that copied in, you may want to turn off your aligned sample up here so that you can essentially copy it a second time. Now watch as without option clicking, I'll just match this back in, and you can see the little crosshair to the right of her head is drawing in that same clone that I used before. That aligned sample is turned on when you want the little crosshair to move, but deselect it if you want to just copy the same thing more than once. And you'll see now as I click again, get it lined up as well as I can here. Click and drag, and now you see it's copying it once more. So I basically just drew that in there 3 times. Now with each additional click, I can get a little bit more of the clone from over here. Now once I've got that, it might be better. As you can see, there's some areas now that look a little bit patchy here. I can clone this and bring it over, and I can clone this and bring it over, and I can establish a kind of a line here for this next brick. Now as I look at it there, it's not perfect. It really is not quite perfect. So you can take steps then to try to make it a little better. Let's try this. I'll clone the line that I've got there now, and I'll just bring it down. And then I'll clone this one and bring it down, but not quite so far down. Then I'll clone this part and bring it down, but again, not quite so far down. You can kind of change the pitch of that line there a little bit by doing it that way, and that actually, I believe, looks a little bit better. I might clone this area and this time bring it up just a bit. So now I've got a little bit more of an up type of a angle going for that mortar, and from then it's just a matter of cloning stone, and you can clone it from as far away as over here and just bring it in so that it fills in this area here. You want to try to avoid making it look like too much of a repetition. So maybe work from 2 different spots or even 3 different spots with a soft edge brush, and you can see that it actually looks like a new, slightly different stone than it did before. Okay, notice too that I left my selection up during that whole thing to avoid going outside of the line, because you don't want to do that. now I'll deselect, and you can see that my picture is looking a lot better. And that really kind of wraps up the challenge of this picture. You could maybe try to make this side a little smaller, but I think I'll probably not do that this time. The only good way to do that would be to unlock the layer and just make the whole original image a little bit smaller. But actually it makes a pretty good companion right here. What you'll want to do is add your layer names so that this is the new retouched image. And then add your type above that. Go to your type tool. As you click, you create a new layer. You'll be aware of that. I've got a really big type size here, so I'll just bring it down a little bit. This is my original image. Try to maybe mix it up a little bit so that my captions aren't always exactly the same. And then I'll click here and retouched with clone and warp. Okay, select both of those. Use your align function here to kind of get them on the same vertical alignment. You can deselect by clicking here. Didn't need to move that one. And then put them in the spot where you want them to be. Okay, and there's how your file should kind of finish up.